Good morning. Call the board meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Again, good morning. Consideration of agenda items. Any additions or corrections? Sheila, you have, is this where you want to mention the language change?
Yes, please.
Why don't you go ahead and do that?
Thank you. Under item 6E, just move the sentence journal entry procedures were added for clarification to item 6F, under the journal entry policy and procedures request, please.
Okay,
And Clean Rollback will go over it when it comes up on the agenda.
yeah, and make sure we reference that again so we don't forget.
Thank you.
All right. Hearing no other additions or corrections, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll approve agenda, Mr. Chair, with the corrections as noted.
Motion by Commissioner Smalls, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wright. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda.
No changes, Mr. Chair.
Move on the consent.
Motion by Commissioner Kruger, is there a second?
Second the motion.
Second by Commissioner Wright. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Sheriff's Office. Good morning.
Good morning. Here seeking permission to enter into a joint powers agreement with the state of Minnesota Financial Crimes Task Force. By doing this, it'll give us access to more resources and also possibly give us access to reimbursement if the cases get bigger than what we're used to and need to spend some extra time on them. There is no cost associated to the sheriff's office other than time and equipment, which we would be utilizing anyway. So this would give us the availability to purchase additional software or pay for software that we currently have that are used in these types of investigations.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Just my comment on this is just, you know, I trust you, Mr. Sheriff. That's, I mean, basically bottom line. I have to go by what you say. I understand what's being told to us and what I see here. I see no problem with it, but I trust you with making the right move. So with that, I'll move to approve.
Appreciate that.
Motion by Commissioner Kruger,
Second.
second by Commissioner Smalls. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I was looking for something smart Alec to say, but I couldn't
Yeah,
come up
we're
with
good.
it. So, all right.
Thank you.
All right, Attorney's Office.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. 2 items today. Item A, consider adopting Resolution 25 CB 18, the board's consent to full-time appointment of Charles Drapo to be an Assistant McLeod County Attorney effective February 3, 2025. You'll recall the board approved a position posting back in December of last year. We were able to locate Mr. Drapo. He was actually part of a prior pool, so we did not have to go through a lengthy posting or interview process. Charles comes to our office from the Clay County Attorney's Office up in Moorhead. He has about 5 years of criminal prosecution experience, so he has some valuable experience, and he should be able to hit the ground running here. State statute allows for the appointment of assistant county attorneys, but requires board's consent. So you've seen these in the past, so asking for the board's consent for Mr. Drapo. Thank you.
Any questions for Ryan?
Chair, I'll move approval of the resolution.
Motion by Commissioner Wright. I can second it.
Second.
That's fine. Second by Commissioner Kruger. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, so that's what I was kind of reading ahead here. So, Ryan, you want to go over what our next move here is?
Yes, thank you. So, item B, we have listed in the agenda as a closed meeting to discuss 2 parcels, property IDs as listed therein pursuant to statute 13D.001 05 subdivision C, paren 3, to consider offers or counter offers for the purchase or sale of real estate or personal property. So on this item, I do believe we'll have Mr. Kolb from Rinky Noonan joining us remotely as well. So I think staff has facilitated that. But what this is it's a special meeting for the Drainage Authority of County Ditch 18. So it's the county board seated as drainage authority under statutes set forth in 103E. So, Mr. Chair, what I'll need is for you to open the meeting, this county ditch meeting, and then we will be looking for a motion to move into closed session. And then I anticipate, once we're done in closed session, reopening the meeting for a short time to conduct any necessary business, and we can go from there. So if you'd start by opening our special meeting today, I would just note our special meeting notice did go out last week. It requires at least a 3-day notice to be posted, and as required by statute, and those requirements have been followed.
Go ahead, Commissioner Kruger.
No, Attorney, we have to, we open it as the ditch authority, or close the board meeting and open ditch authority, is that correct?
That's what he's
Yeah.
saying to do.
Yes, yep.
Okay, let's see if I can do this. I need a motion to open the ditch meeting.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to recess our board meeting for the time of a closed meeting with the ditch authority.
Well, that's not what he wants me to do. So
I
he
believe
wants me to,
that's the proper right.
but he wants, you're right, we gotta open the ditch meeting and then go into closed session, right?
Right, so we should move to recess our board meeting temporarily for the purpose of opening our special meeting of County Ditch 18, and then we can go from motions from there.
Okay, so I'll take that motion as the recess of the board meeting. Is that okay, Commissioner Kruger?
And second.
Second by Commissioner Schmalz. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So we're in recess from our board meeting. What's next? What do you need me to do next, Ryan?
So now recognize that this is a special meeting of County Ditch 18 Drainage Authority.
Okay, so we now need a motion then to open
The ditch meeting.
the meeting for McLeod County Ditch 18. Okay, that's my motion.
Second.
Motion by Wright, second by Kruger, to open the ditch meeting for County Ditch 18. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And if I have this right, the next step is to go into closed session, correct?
You'll be looking for a
Mr.
motion,
Chair,
and then.
sorry, do I need to leave? Okay.
Just, we'll go into closed session and then we'll kick people out if we need to here. So, okay, so I need a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Kruger, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wright, any discussion?
And then, Mr. Chair.
Hearing none, proceed to vote, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Go ahead, Ryan.
Now, if you can just identify the parcels that were moved.
The board is what's under consideration before the board is a repair of County Ditch 18, which involves realignment from the current alignment, which traverses a heavily wooded area, to a new alignment that would be outside of the wooded area and paralleling existing public road right-of-way, and then before it takes off along a different alignment across open ground. In order to facilitate that new alignment, the board is required to acquire on behalf of the drainage system easements for that new alignment. Since the initiation of the proceedings, a new owner had acquired some tax forfeited ground and platted it. That owner was not willing to voluntarily convey the easements, made a monetary demand as to the value of those easements, and the board in closed session considered the merits of the landowner's demand and the merits of an alternative offer, and has today decided to take action, which it will in a moment, to approve that alternative offer.
All right, thank you. Doug, is that sufficient?
That's sufficient.
All right, just to make sure, not to bore everybody with repeating, but just to make sure, because of the technology, I'm looking to entertain a motion to authorize our attorney to extend an offer to Lotus Holdings of $12,000 for an easement over lots 5 and 6, block 1 of the plat of top 10 options of Hutchinson's, parcel 235330050 and 235330060. Do I have what are the wishes of the board?
I'm gonna finish reading that, if that's okay, Mr. Chair.
Or I can if you want me to.
Oh, I'm fine with that. As set, just in case that it wasn't going out, but as set forth by the engineer's legal description of the realignment of CD 18, and if accepted, authorize the auditor treasurer to issue a check to Lotus Holding in the amount stated above, $12,000. Receive a W-9 from the entry to be delivered upon extension of the required easement instructions. With that, I would make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Kruger, is there a second? I can second it. Second by Nagel. Any discussions?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Just for the sake of transparency, everything was run by us by our attorney, our county attorney Ryan Henshin, by our other water attorney John Kolb. I'm not gonna split hairs, my words again, whether this is, I believe it's right, but do I just like it exactly? Possibly not in principle, but if we want this project, just started out easy and ended up getting a little complicated, and the way it's all laid out with change of ownerships by an investment group there, I think this is the most efficient or lowest cost issue we can get done, just so we can get going and get this done. We have landowners that have been waiting for a couple of years to get this done. Outside of having a big demand from the watershed, I see this being really the only way to go forward right now. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Any other business to become before the Drainage Authority specific to this issue? No? Okay. Looking for a motion to adjourn the ditch meeting on County Ditch 18.
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Schmalz, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Kruger. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. We will reopen our regular board meeting and move into our item 6 under finance.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I just wanted to provide a short explanation of our finance department being in administration, because there were a couple of questions about that from the public.
Very good.
Thank you. So in 2017, you may remember that the county did an organizational study with David Drown and Associates, and there were some recommendations for organizational for reorganization and reconfiguration. And part of that was hiring a financial officer and moving finance into the administration department. That was started in 2018, and it was completed when we moved to this building in 2021. So all of the finance department has been in administration for 4 to 6 years. Are there any other questions about that we could help with? Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
the only thing, I mean, I appreciate that, Sheila, and I also appreciate that these items are all broke down, so if need be, any questions or explanations in discussion, you may jump in and help us clarify that, because that's the only questions that I have gotten is on, I'm very comfortable with this, but I remember going through it. But anything that would pop up, I would expect our board to ask those questions.
all right. Item A,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have 9 items this morning. On the first one, A, consider adopting the revised budget policy and procedures. So this is going to be the same for each one of those, since finance has moved from the auditor treasurer's office to the administration office. McLeod County policies need to be updated to reflect that change. So in this policy, the only thing that changed is changing auditor treasurer to admin or finance.
very good.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Kruger, second by Commissioner Chachka. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item B.
Consider approving the revised electronic funds transfer policy. Since finance has moved from the auditor treasurer's office to the administration office, McLeod County policies need to be updated to reflect that change. Also included in this, there will be a list of all electronic transfers that will be provided to the county board on the consent agenda along with the warrants. It was from the state auditor's office that anytime we do wires between banks, that the board should be alerted to those transfers.
Very good.
Move request B, Mr. Chair.
Motion by Commissioner Schmalz. I can second it. Second by Nagel. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item C.
Consider adopting the revised elimination of internal activity policy. And since the finance has moved from the auditor treasurer's office to the administration office, McLeod County policies need to be updated to reflect that change.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Wright. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Kruger. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item D.
Consider adopting the revised fund balance policy. Since finance has moved from the auditor treasurer's office to the administration office, McLeod County policies need to be updated to reflect that change. And the fund classifications have also been revised to reflect changes made by the Governmental Accounting Standards Board Statement 54.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Chachka. Is there a
Second.
second? By Commissioner Schmalz. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Consider adopting the revised investment policy and procedures. Since finance has moved from the auditor treasurer's office to the administration office, McLeod County policies need to be updated to reflect that change.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Wright. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Kruger. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item F.
Consider adopting the revised journal entry policies and procedures. Since finance has moved from the auditor treasurer's office to the administration office, McLeod County policies need to be updated to reflect that change. Journal entry procedures were also added for clarification.
Very good.
Move item F as requested.
Motion by Commissioner Schmalz. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Chachka. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item G.
Consider adopting the revised petty cash policy and procedures. Since finance has moved from the auditor treasurer's office to the administration office, McLeod County policies need to be updated to reflect that change. Procedures were added for the setup and reconciliation of petty cash and change stores.
Move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Kruger, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wright. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
before we finish here totally, who oversees this now? I mean, just to clear this up, that'll be overseen by our administrator, and how is our auditor treasurer linked into that at all, or
They're not linked into it. It's under admin.
however they have full access to any numbers they want? How does that work? If someone were to, how, I don't want to get too far in the weeds here, but I hear all this and it's all good to me, but how do we check it? Where's the check and double check?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
this is all the same as it's been for the past 6 years, and it's by statute, and this changes nothing with it. All of our finances are public. And they're published the same way. They're available the same way that they always have been. The auditor treasurer has never expressed any concern to us about accessing information that I know of. And if you do need to ask her anything, Connie is here today. So, this changes really nothing as far as publicly accessible information, and the elected officials have always been able to access this information without any delay. Thank you.
And I, on the calls that I have, that was probably the one, and I agree. That's the same answer I've gotten. In the years that I've been here, I've not seen any problems. However, I don't know what specifically the checks and balances are. I mean, they're in there. That I do know. When your books don't match, obviously here we end up trusting people and commissioners, and at any rate, I just wanted to check on our checks and balances.
So the checks and balances, any work that I do needs to be approved by the administrator. So I can't do anything without Sheila signing off on what I do.
Then real briefly, we have a yearly audit, correct?
Correct.
And Mr. Chair, just a note, I also can't do anything over $3,000 without someone else having looked at it beforehand. So it's always going through two people.
Very good.
Again, it's been working. I personally have no questions, but I have, in the inquiries that I had, it was hard for me to explain it, other than it's working, to my knowledge. Every time I've went to a budget item or a proposed spend, it's always been right on.
All right, we have a motion on item G. I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Do I have this right? We're on H?
H,
Yep,
yes.
go ahead.
Consider adopting Resolution 25-CB14, authorizing acceptance of gifts and contributions in the amount of $10,759.98 for the year ending December 31st, 2024. This is a Minnesota statute requirement 465.03.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Wright. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Kruger. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And item I.
Consider adopting Resolution 25-CB17, authorizing a temporary ditch loan of $979,000 from the general fund to the ditch fund to cover negative county and joint ditch fund balances dated December 31st, 2024.
Move to approve.
Second.
And the following, okay, I'll accept the motion from Kruger and Schmalz. On the following page, the ditch loan interest was set at 4%.
Correct. The
Yep.
ditch interest on those loans will be at 4% because that was set at the public hearing on October 15th of 2024.
Okay, just wanted to make sure we covered that part too. So,
Thank you.
all right, any discussion on the motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
good question. That covered the setting of the interest every time
Yep, on the,
we do the loan. We don't
Yes,
change it 'cause of
right,
the
you
transfer
don't change it at that time.
Yeah.
It's set
Thank
by
you.
Connie.
any further discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Good
Thank
job.
you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Colleen.
Building maintenance. Good morning.
Morning. Consider approving the public notice requesting sealed bids for the mechanical air conditioning project of the jail and sheriff's office. This project is in the 2025 Building Services Capital Improvement Budget. The bid request would be published in the official McLeod County newspaper for 3 consecutive weeks and sent to our preferred contractors as described in the McLeod County purchase policy.
All right, wishes of the board?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
before we go, question about bids versus quotes. Are we talking about an expenditure which would require the bid process?
Yes, this one is estimated to be, just under 200,000 total for the project.
Thank you.
Any, all right, any other questions or wishes of the board?
Move to approve going out for these sealed bids.
Motion by Commissioner Wright. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Kruger. Any discussion?
We just did a note, we did talk about this at our last budget meeting as well, that this would be the intentions to go through this process, so.
Very good, thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Consider approving a quote from B&R Home and Business Repair LLC, Hutchinson, Minnesota, for repairs to the McLeod County Fairgrounds Commercial Building Office at a cost of $9,350, with insurance water leak claim funds from the Fairgrounds budget 01-117. Just a note, a second quote was received in the amount of $20,965.44, and that was from ServPro Hutchinson.
All right. Any questions?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
And I'll ask, what's the history of the water damage? It's something that I have not been aware of previously.
An ice dam, wasn't it?
So on New Year's, there was a water leak on a hose that fed a drinking water set up in the break room, and nobody was there, and it spread out and covered basically the break room, the computer room, into the hallway, and slightly into a couple of offices. So the park staff, the staff there, when they got in right away, they did a great job. They cleaned everything up, which helped reduce the total damage. So huge thank you to them for reacting so quickly.
All right.
Thank you.
Looking for a motion to approve.
Move approval, Mr. Chair, at the $9,350 as specified.
Motion by Commissioner Schmalz. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Kruger. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
not other than it's just a difference in the quote, so I appreciate the research there.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item C.
So the next item is while we had the lake, we had to get the moisture out of there, and we did bring ServPro in for that. I worked with an insurance adjuster on that. So consider approving the quote from ServPro for water restoration at McLeod County Fairgrounds at a cost of $8,262.74, with insurance water leak claim funds from Fairgrounds budget 01-117.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Wright. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Kruger. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks.
Health and Human Services. Sheila, you're taking these?
I am. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Barrett is out today. Item A, consider approving the purchase of service agreement with Brown County Evaluation Center Incorporated to provide detoxification and evaluation services to referred clients for the period of January 1, 2025 through December 31, 2025 with funds from the Individual and Family Social Services budget. Services provided by the Brown County Evaluation Center Incorporated will be billed at a rate of $475 per patient per 24-hour period beginning at time of admission. McLeod County will receive a discount of $88 per recipient for all amounts paid within 30 days of receipt of the bill. Transportation costs will be billed at $1.34 per mile if the client is unable to provide their own transportation. This is a 1% increase from the 2024 contract rate.
Wishes of the board? I can move to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Schmalz. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Employee relations.
Good morning. Okay, I have two items today. One is to consider approving a request reviewed by the Personnel Committee to extend 2 part-time temporary child protection positions through December 31st of 2025. These current positions are approved through the end of March and have been very helpful. Again, these are temporary and on a very part-time basis. The folks that are in these roles right now have been able to both provide, they have many years of expertise within this work, but also some training for new staff joining the team.
All right. Any questions for Hannah? Wishes of the board?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Wright. Is there a second? I can second it. Any discussion? Yes.
I would like to hear comment from Personnel Committee with a bit of an explanation on how these 2 temporary positions are used and what they're used for. Thank you.
I can start, but Hannah, you can dive in. Basically, they're child protection workers, part-time. We're understaffed there right now, and this gives us the ability to continue to do the work we have. Doug or Hannah, if you want to add to that, that's my 2 cents to it.
Yep, I would say just on, on average right now, we have one person who is working about an average of 10 to 12 hours a week. They're able to step in with really specialized foster care placements, folks that need to be, or children that need to be placed in foster care, and they bring a great deal of expertise, which is remarkable. They were a long-term employee that retired here and was willing to come back. The other employee is working about an average of similar 10 to 15 hours a week. Again, is bringing a great deal of experience with both probation and working with children. And so as Commissioner Nagel shared, we are currently restaffing this department, or this unit, excuse me, and these folks have been able to really help in this transitional time.
Thank you, Hannah and Mr. Chair. So with the limited hours, these people are not qualified to receive additional benefits. Am I correct on that?
That's correct. Yep, both that they're under the average of 30 hours a week and that they are temporary. They are not receiving any benefits other than their required, like, earned safe and sick time, which we are required to offer any employee.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
they're also doing our court-ordered visits, according to Barrett. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, and I do appreciate, built in with them, within the motion is kind of an end date to reevaluate as to the end of the year, so.
Yep. All right, any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
being on employee relations, I too, I approved it just with the merits to move forward. However, I mean, this is something that has to be watched, and from the way it was explained to me, at least on this temporary, or at least with a drop dead date at the end, sunset, we can reevaluate it at that time. So I thought that was.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, Hannah, the plan is, as this department gets, this division of the department gets staffed up, less and less hours will be needed by these temporary people, if any at all, correct?
That's right. Yep, that's correct.
And that's what the hope is, and again, I'm speaking for myself, not as anything else, but, I mean, it's something that needs to be watched and will be watched, and, doesn't have the full commitment of another employee, is what I'm
Correct.
trying to get to, so.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. All right,
Thank you.
Item B.
Item B is consider approving the grade assignment recommendation by the evaluation committee that's been reviewed by personnel committee for the bilingual Spanish community health worker. Again, just as a reminder, McLeod County's job leveling system uses the same factors to evaluate each job, resulting in an assigned grade.
All right, any questions for Hannah?
Move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Wright, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Chachka. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chair, I do
Yeah.
have one. So when you talk about these assignments, the reevaluating and stuff, is this what you had talked about last time about you just go through them and you reevaluate, and maybe adjust a step or something along
Yep.
that line?
Yep, that's correct. And this particular job is not it's a new job description. So that's how I had to go through the process. We didn't have a job description for this role. This has been budgeted. We're ready to move forward and post for the position. And so we had to write a job description, which we were able to utilize. Sibley County and some other neighboring counties have similar positions to this. So we're able to use those similar job descriptions, write it to meet our needs, went through that evaluation process, and now this allows us to assign the grade and then post and start
Okay,
hiring for the
perfect.
position.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the question.
Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I also, I mean, it's a trial balloon for me because I understand, I mean, we've needed I call it an interpreter around the courthouse for a long time, but I'm under the understanding that this position may be quite busy just in health and human services, so I'm kind of watching that myself to make sure we assign this person with the proper duties as time goes on. So I'm hoping, initially when this started, I was hoping that this position could do a little bit more through the county than just in health and human services.
Yep, and this role specifically will be within the public health unit, going in to homes, doing these community assessments like we do in other roles. The addition is that this person is required to be able to speak and translate both verbally as well as written Spanish.
Correct.
Yep. But
My way of thinking, I still watch for efficiencies, and I just, I mean, I can't keep saying yes to everything that's being asked for. I mean, it has to have, my words of universal use or a more bigger use through the county than just health and human services.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
It's kind of been my understanding from the meetings that I've attended in the last couple of weeks, now that I'm getting going, is that some of the counties were actually surprised we didn't have one already. And it sounds like there's a huge need in, I'm guessing countywide, but health and human services specifically, because they've tried different avenues and it just doesn't work. And so I feel like this is a great step forward for McLeod County.
yeah, thank you for the comment. This is, like I mentioned, Sibley County is just one of the many counties that has this exact type of position. And we have, there's a lot of collaboration within, especially the Tri-County, Meeker, McLeod, and Sibley. But these are positions that are in a lot of other counties already. And we've seen, obviously, those roles be extremely successful and necessary. So I know that the department and for the county generally, this is very positive. Thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Doug.
Just not to get confused now, this is strictly a McLeod County position.
Yep, this
not
is a
Tri
strictly,
County.
yep,
It's not shared, it's our position.
correct. This is a McLeod County position.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. On to county administration, review of the calendars. Commissioner Kruger?
That fast, huh?
That's the hot seat, I'm telling
Yeah.
you. You gotta be ready.
Ready?
All right, after the last meeting, I intended, we had our workshop after the last meeting. Plus, I left later that afternoon for AMC Drainage Conference. There's always something at the Drainage Conference. I attended all the meetings, the policy meetings, and we always learn something with water. And that was a three-day conference. I left here after the meeting and then on Wednesday and returned on Thursday. We had a department head meeting on the 11th in Hutchinson, and the agenda review on the 13th by Zoom. And then I also attended a township board meeting, but mainly with Adam, our ditch inspector, on JD 12 and trying to get some things rolling there and the consequences of whatever the assessments may be and road authority costs and things like that. And we have another one coming up, I believe the 12th, don't quote me on that, but we have another informational meeting with the landowner, so I hope everybody stays involved. Brings us to today.
Cool.
Okay, attended a planning meeting with our economic development coordinator to start looking at some upcoming projects we can start working on. Also attended a department head meeting. Got to take part in their updates through the departments, and definitely appreciate their leadership that they show throughout our county. Later that week, Fairgrounds Commission. Basically there, we talked about, our new building is now up and running. We do have some rentals lining up to take place. Also some of the other maintenance and so forth around the fairgrounds, just small items that'll be planned. And after that, jumped in with administration to start planning the materials that'll be included in the packets that we'll be distributing throughout our township meetings and other meetings that we attend throughout the year.
Thank you. Had some time away, admittedly, but, and thank you for those that covered for me on that time. It was appreciated. Personnel-related issues that we've covered today, along with some other ones that are, I don't know, I'm gonna say never-ending, but I don't mean that as harsh as it sounds. And then also met with some landowners on the ditch system. The number escapes me. It's not 18, but on the west end of the county, where we've done some repairs on it, the landowners are seem to be all on board and are very active with that, so I appreciate that. So, Nathan?
Thank you, Commissioner Nagel. After our last county board meeting on the 4th, we held a workshop here at the Government Center. On Wednesday the 5th, I attended an MCIT-sponsored Zoom meeting. The topic of the meeting was open law. The presenter at the meeting was Sonia Gugamas. Sonia Gugamas is an attorney who specializes in open meeting law, and I think I would encourage the other board members to get a refresher on open meeting law. This is going to be a series of 4 that are going to take place. I believe the next one is scheduled for tomorrow, so I think you probably all did get invitations on that, and it was much appreciated. And I, again, learned something about open meeting law in that Zoom meeting. On Thursday the 6th, I had a Prime West Joint Powers Board meeting in Alexandria. And then this past week, on Thursday the 13th, we had Community Health Board, CHB, Joint Powers Board meeting. We met in Hutchinson, and it was attended by all 3 counties, Meeker, McLeod, and Sibley. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Lori?
Excuse me. After the meeting on the 4th and the workshop, I was able to Zoom into the Prime West meeting that Nathan had to drive to that day. So that was a lot of people. There's a lot going on, it seemed like. So I'm hoping to get to one of those meetings in person. Then last Thursday, I also attended the Meeker McLeod, or the CHB meeting at Environmental Services Building. It was nice to get a feel for what they deal with. And then on Friday, I went to the Southwest 18 meeting down in Marshall. After that meeting, or during that meeting, I emailed Barrett and said, we need to schedule a time that I can get with her to understand better, like, what her role is in her department, what they actually do. It's one of the things that I know probably the least about. So we have one scheduled for, I think it's after our next meeting on the 4th. And then yesterday, I had a training session at Trailblazer for the day. So that's what I've been up to.
All right, thank you. Ryan, anything more from the attorney's office?
No, thank
All right, administration?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to take a moment and honor and recognize Commissioner Nagel for 10 years of service to McLeod County. Congratulations, and thank you for your service.
It's been a dream.
Thank you.
All right. Item A.
Thank you. Item A, consider adopting Resolution 25-CB-16, additional citizen committee appointment. This resolution would appoint Danielle Becker to the Economic Development Committee. She would be replacing Huser,
Lisa?
Lisa Huser. Thank you.
All right. I think she'll be a good fit.
Move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Wright. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Chachka. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B, notification that the High Island Creek Watershed District Board of Managers Drainage Authority for the petitioned improvement of Sibley-Renville McLeod Judicial Ditch 11 lateral G will hold a public hearing to consider the petitioned improvement, the preliminary engineer's report, and whether to dismiss the petition or continue with the proceedings on February 26, 2025 at 1:00 p.m. in the basement meeting room of the Sibley County Courthouse located at 400 Court Avenue, Gaylord, Minnesota.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Doug.
If I had intentions of going to this meeting, and we have our legislative conference, and I'm also scheduled to go there, so obviously can't be in two places. So I put in my calendar that Paul Wright could maybe go to that. And again, it's just, I have no idea what's gonna happen, but just to keep up to speed, if somebody could fill in there, I would like to stay up on what's going on there, is all I'm saying. And I'm not, that was a tongue in cheek, but if it works out.
Yeah, no, that shouldn't be a problem. I know I tossed around going to the legislative conference as well, but it'd be a lot easier to get to the ditch meeting than driving to the cities for a day, so
Well, I
we'll
could
see how that
switch
goes.
that one too,
Yeah,
actually.
we'll see how it goes. So you and I will
No,
plan that
thanks,
out.
yeah,
so.
just a note.
All right.
Thank you. Item C, notification of board workshop following the board meeting on Tuesday, March 4th, 2025 at the McLeod County Government Center here at 520 Chandler Avenue North, Glencoe, Minnesota. Thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
That also, that notification of a board workshop, I would caution, not caution, but ask people to be aware of what that workshop is. I guess it's not cut in stone yet, so I'm not gonna comment too much on it, but that could be an important workshop.
All right. Open forum, press relations. Looking for a motion to recess to our next county board meeting, 9 a.m. Tuesday, March 4th, at the McLeod Government Center, 520 Chandler Avenue North, Glencoe, Minnesota.
Move recess, Mr. Chair.
Motion by Commissioner Schmalz. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wright. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll take a few minutes, start our workshop. A few of us do have a hard stop, so we'll get going here right